Okay, I'm here with my brother Daniel. We're just gonna do an informal kind of like a little interview here about his about his life. You know, it's something that was requested of me, and Daniel's good enough and willing enough to do this. So I would like to start out by asking you, Daniel, how did you get to where you ended up going to the military? What happened there? Did you get drafted, or did you just volunteer?
No, I graduated when I was 17, and I just had this idea that I wanted to just get the hell out. That was 1962.
62?
Yeah, get the hell out of Berlin, and I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I needed to get out and change, and I liked the idea of the Marine Corps, so I joined the Marine Corps.
And so, where did you end up going?
Well, out of 5 years of service, I spent 3 3/4 of them in the Orient.
In the Orient?
In the Orient,
okay.
In the Ryukyu Islands, and Laos, Cambodia, Japan, different places, but mostly in the jungles of Okinawa.
The jungles of Okinawa?
Islands.
Yeah.
Laos and Cambodia.
And what rank were you? What were you in the service?
Corporal E4.
E4?
Mm-hmm.
And what was what did you do were you, I don't know what they call them.
Your profession?
Yeah.
Were
you?
I was originally designated as a 3042, a mechanized accountant, but my primary was a rifleman.
Rifleman? Okay.
An expert.
Expert in rifle.
And weapons.
And weapons, okay. Well, that sounds like an interesting occupation you had.
Mm-hmm. I started off in missiles, in the desert, and went from there into the jungle, into survival schools, and weapons schools, and ended up doing what people do. Some things were secret, and some weren't.
Yeah. And then, so you served what? 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. How many tours did you go do?
Well, I was there for straight 3.5 years.
Oh, straight 3.5 years.
Well, with a 30-month, I did have one 30-day break.
30-day break in 3 years.
That I came back to the United States.
Wow. A long time, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Before I knew it.
And
I was 17, and 5 years later, I guess 22, almost 22 when I got out.
And so when you got out, what did you do after you got out?
That was in 1957. That was the era of the Beatles, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I moved to California, Santa Monica, and I started working.
Started working?
2 jobs at a time. Worked for Boeing Aircraft and McMahon's accounting firms. And for, 67, 68, 69, 71. And then I moved to Denver.
You moved to Denver?
Mm-hmm.
And while you were in California, what kind of what was your line of work? What did you do? You worked for Boeing, you said?
For Boeing Aeroquip Corporation. I was the head of the carpenter shop.
Wow.
I started off, as a basic journeyman, and went and took over the carpenter shop.
Took over the carpentry shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then you said you went to Colorado?
Yes.
And so,
Well, I worked for managed accounting firms too. At the same time, I worked for the aircraft place.
you done a managing
No, I was a double entry bookkeeper.
double entry bookkeeper. That was for Boeing also?
No, that was for McMahon's accounting firm.
McMahon's accounting firm.
Then we did audits and stuff, like audit a bank or something, audit books.
Yeah. And how did you get that position? Did you go to school for any of that? Did you go to college?
No, not for that really. I just knew something about it, and
Pretty smart guy, I
there
guess,
was an
huh?
application that had one opening, and
Wow.
there was 28 women, and I was the only man that worked.
Are you sure? Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was,
28 women and only one man.
yeah. It was interesting. I got the job.
Yeah?
Because she even told me, what makes you think I would need to hire a man?
Huh.
She said, you're qualified, but as you can see, I have women there.
Oh,
And I said, I don't know, because I do good work, I guess.
that's good. You're a smart guy.
Mhm.
So then you said you went to Denver. Is that what you did in Denver?
No, I worked, I trained, I was assistant to the vice president of operations of Continental Trailways, bus system.
Bus system.
I trained.
Continental Trailways.
Yeah,
Oh. The bus system, huh?
yeah,
Assistant to the vice president
of operations.
of operations.
I trained like dispatchers and things like that, and went off and audited bus stations, their books
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So you were an auditor.
I'm basically, somebody that kind of takes care of things that are in operation.
Yeah.
The department makes the place operate.
And then what happened? Where'd you go after that?
I think building condominiums.
Building condominiums.
Yeah, or helping build them, on a cruise
Yeah.
in Denver.
Wow. So you done a little bit of framework, huh?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of things in my life.
Yeah. And from there, what'd you do next?
Okay, let's see. In the process, I got married and divorced.
Got married and divorced.
Anyway,
Tried that
I
too,
went
huh?
back to New Mexico, and I was building houses, helping build houses.
In New Mexico. Came back to New Mexico.
Hmm. And then I worked at 2 finance companies as assistant manager.
Yeah. Finance companies.
Uh-huh.
And did you ever end up going to college at all?
Oh yeah, I from the finance companies. Let's see where I went. I moved up north to Santa Fe,
Uh-huh.
to the Santa Fe area, and I started working for the Department of Agriculture, the Forest Service.
The Forest Service.
As a forest tech, and then surveyor.
Uh-huh.
And then for many years, and then I worked for the Bureau of Land Management in Las Cruces in the desert, training young people to do fences, whatever needed to be done in those areas.
Yeah, in the Bureau of Land Management.
Whatever. Yeah, it was kind of training for young people
Yeah.
in the desert, and then I worked in Utah, and then for the Department of Interior also.
Utah.
And I tested Boeing aircraft firefighting equipment, and was also in.
So you went back to work for Boeing, huh?
And then I was an arson chaser. Well, I was working for the BLM, for the Department. I was chosen of 6 men in New Mexico to go to Utah, to the National Sand Dunes, which was our base, and our job was to all the new Boeing firefighting equipment that was made. We were testing it out.
Oh, I see.
We were testing
For
it
forest
out.
fires.
Like
Yeah.
tankers. And,
Yeah.
all kinds of things, and also chasing arsons with high-tech equipment.
Uh-huh.
they chose 6 of us that worked for the BLM already in New Mexico for this team, and I was one of them. And okay, from there I went to the National Park Service as a park ranger in Chaco Canyon.
Uh-huh.
And then I was a firefighter all over the United States for about 4.5 years.
So you done the forest firefighting deal too, huh?
While in a special hot shot federal crew, yeah.
Hot shot federal crew. Wow.
We traveled all over the United States.
You fought some pretty rough fires, huh?
A lot of them, all over.
Yeah.
I had 24-hour call all the time.
Wow.
We're pretty heavy specialized.
Oh. And then after you done the firefighting, what did you do next?
Then I came back to New Mexico, and I worked for the Forest Service again, the Department of Agriculture, and the State Department.
Mm-hmm.
And I got married again, and during that time, and divorced. during
divorced
that time
again.
also, when I was living, in northern New Mexico. And when I got divorced the second time, that's when I went back to school.
Oh, you went to school, okay.
Yeah, I had tried college twice and dropped out twice.
Uh-huh.
Because I just wasn't ready. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And when I got divorced the second time, I didn't have a job, and I was up north, and I thought, well, I'm going to try it one more time. So I went back to school at New Mexico State in Las Cruces, and ended up staying in school for 12 years.
Wow.
Got thanks to the help of a real nice angel I met.
Yeah, cool.
And they showed me, showed me the ropes of how to get an education.
Yeah.
And there I was a Chicano that shouldn't even have been getting an education. But I worked every summer for the government, and then I'd go to school in the spring and the fall and spring.
Yeah.
For 12 years. And I ended up working as an archaeologist.
Archaeologist, huh?
Mm-hmm. I graduated in anthropology and archaeology, and ancient Christian art.
Wow. So what'd you do with that?
I never finished the ancient Christian art. I'm still at it, huh?
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you guys do?
Archaeology?
Yeah.
Well, I'm one of those people that goes by historical documents and does the research of places that were supposed to, be there, they've heard of, or they've mapped a long time ago.
Right.
And go back and survey them, take pictures, and document, and document everything that I find, and whether it's worth being excavated in the future. In other words, do all the reports. And I would find, in other words, unknown treasures, like buried pueblos and stuff, things that people won't see for maybe in their lifetime.
Wow, man, interesting.
Now, and from here all the way to California.
How did you like that?
Great.
Oh, that was pretty neat, huh?
Oh yeah, it was outside and all over the place, and I was good at it, and I paid well.
Yeah, and then so then you came. How did you land up here at this little spot here?
That's a good one. I was living up north, and I was still going to school, I should say, and my grandmother passed away and left me her house.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down here and kind of restored it back to original. It was 127 years old.
Wow.
And I was going to dedicate it as a library to this community, because for the Chicano kids, young kids, so that they would have an opportunity that none of us ever had in our life.
Yeah.
To better their education and open the world.
Uh-huh.
And it turned to shit. And maybe we should stop there. That's what began a horror story.
That's when the
house
things
burned down.
the house burned down.
The original house, yeah.
Yeah. So then that's when the house burnt down and landed you up. I don't know if you want to say long story short to where you're at now, right?
Yeah, well, what happened was, of course, we've been over 17 years, but after the house burned, I didn't have a place to live, so I went to the hospital. I was at a pretty depressed state, mental state, and for about 5 years, to counseling, substance abuse, depression, everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever really quite heal, but when I finished doing that, I found a house near where my mother lives, and the man was wanting to restore all this burned and had gotten damaged.
Yeah.
So I restored the whole house for him in exchange for rent.
Oh yeah.
And which was very little, and then I did an apartment for him, and I ended up. We were in the process of buying it. I was in the process of buying it.
Yeah.
And something happened. They got sold out from under me. Somebody came with cash. Anyway, I had this property still where the house was,
Right.
and hadn't done anything with it. And I thought, well, I couldn't find a place, an inexpensive place that wanted 3 dogs and me.
Yeah.
So I I'll just move back over here and make adobes and add on and, fix this place up.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I came back here and things just started falling more and more shit. It's something that has been going on for a while that I really, I want to discuss, but I'd have to discuss it.
Yeah. So nothing seemed to work out after that, did it?
No, anyway, from there it went down, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Way down. I think things just happened and that shouldn't have happened, but either way, that's where I started going down.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing archaeology anymore. The reason I had basically stopped doing archaeology was because I had a physical condition. My legs would go numb. And because I have some injured, what do they call them, vertebrae?
Oh yeah.
A lot of like squeezing, like my spinal column is squeezing the nerve.
Right.
Caused a lot of pain and all that, and it was causing my legs to go numb, so I couldn't walk and do archaeology all the time.
Yeah, I've noticed the way you limp when you walk.
That's when I slowed down.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I was working with this property, and had good intentions and everything, and was adding on, and things kept getting worse. Another fire, and like I said, it's a chain of events that I'll have to explain in another way.
Yeah.
But what brought me down,
Yeah.
and to what I am, to where I'm at now,
To where you're at now.
and it's taken me to a point where I definitely could use some assistance
Yeah.
getting back up on my feet, and then I'm okay.
Amen.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm
like
pretty
a
sure,
good
'cause I
idea.
know where I'm heading. I know what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
and
Well.
and I probably would have been there if I wouldn't have, been held up.
Yeah. And so.
Unexpectedly detained.
Right. And so now, this is where we're at now, and so I guess we'll leave the rest of it up to Michael, right? That's his.
I think it was Michael.
Michael, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Daniel.
Wow.